Hi everybody, it's Christy Scott and I'm back with another Stitch With Me video. I am so sorry it has been so long, and yes, I plan to catch you up on everything. I think it's been about 2 weeks since my last video, but a lot has been going on. But I tend to start talking and then forget to actually cross stitch, so I'm going to show you what progress I've made since the last video and get started stitching, and then I'll get you caught up on everything. So I believe when I left off on my last video, I was working on starting the top of the Capitol building with the ivory parts, and now I have finished the Capitol building, and I have also done some of the cherry blossom trees at the bottom. So it's coming along, but obviously I have not been stitching too much since my last video. I think I stitched for a few days after my video, and then I really haven't touched it much since. So here we go. I'm going to dive back in. Just been very, very busy. So first of all, let me update you on kind of what has been going on. I just want to make sure that I get the right color here and start this off correctly. And I believe it is this one right here. Yes. So this is going to be what I work on during this video. So you may have already noticed by now, I'm back in the RV. So that's the first piece of good news. Wow. I think it was about 2 days after my last video that we got the RV back. It was quite an ordeal. It was Monday, and we were supposed to be getting it back because that was the last day that we could stay in that cabin for free that we were in. And not only did we not want to have to pay for that, but also we would have to keep pushing back our reservation at our next park, which is where we are now. So we were really, really wanting to get it back. And it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon when we finally heard that we weren't going to get it back because the parts hadn't even come in, which made no sense. She was even saying that the first part never came in, which they had already received, installed, and then ordered us another part. So we were just really confused and frustrated. But it turned out that whoever that was wrong. And then we got a call like 15 minutes later after our whole little freak out session that yes, you're getting the RV back and you should have it back by close of business today. So we ended up going and getting it that night. By the time we got home, it was probably 7:30, and then we still had to move all of our things from the cabin back to the RV and get kind of all set up. So it was a late night. I think it was like 10 o'clock, 10:30 when we called it quits. We had gotten everything over except our food from the refrigerator. They were nice enough at that Thousand Trails Park to let us keep the food in the refrigerator that last night, even though we were moving back into our RV, because the fridge in the RV had been off the whole time it was in the shop. So we didn't want to bring our food back and have the fridge not even be cold. So it was very nice that they accommodated us. And I have to count real quick. Okay, I picked a nice spot on my pattern here. I just had to count to where it was, but it's just a big old rectangle, 3 long rows. So hopefully I won't mess up this time. Plus I love doing what's sort of the more boring stuff when I'm making a video. So not only do I not mess up, but I don't get bored. So they accommodated us with the refrigerator, which was absolutely fabulous. Really, they were great to us there all the way around. But moving back in with the amount of stuff we had, and I don't know how much I've mentioned it on this channel or not, but with my bad back, I have a really bad back and have issues from time to time. I overdid it. And things were bothering me and kind of hurting as I was carrying stuff back and forth, but I'm used to that. But I guess I overdid it a little bit and didn't realize how much it was hurting. I got to the point I was kind of limping. My left hip was hurting really bad. And my husband finally said, stop, you have to stop. And I was like, or actually he said, you should take a break. And I was like, honey, I'm at the point that if I take a break, I'm not going to be able to keep helping you. I'm going to be done for the day. And he's like, then you need to be done for the day. So I sat there for like another hour and watched him move stuff without me, which always makes me feel terrible. And then we ate dinner finally at like 11. And this was all in preparation to get ready to move parks the next morning. But we couldn't make it. Like, we just couldn't get it all done that night. So we ended the night and went to bed with a bunch of bins in our living room. Like the one our laundry is in right now over there. Just the whole living room was full of stuff. So we got up the next day, put everything away. And surprisingly, we still left by like 9:30 in the morning. I thought we would be a lot later leaving. So we were very happy. We're like, the RV's working, the jacks are working, we're back into our home, and now we get to go to the next place, which is supposed to be beautiful, and just start enjoying ourselves finally, because we keep saying that every time. And we left and started driving. It was only about a 350 mile day, something like that. I think about 300. I don't think it was too bad. And we got to, I don't know, a minute, if that, from our exit off the highway to come to this park. So all in all, we were maybe about 18 miles away from this park. And this couple pulls up next to us and starts waving and holding up a notepad in their window. And we really didn't think anything of it at first, because ever since we put our decals on the RV that say Spot the Scots and have all of our social media stuff, we've had people wave and show us their phone to show that they're on our website and really fun stuff like that. So that's what we thought was happening. But then it turned out that she was trying to tell us something, and her paper said that we needed to pull over and check our tire because something was flapping around. Well, that sounded terrible. And if you're not an RVer or don't know much about it, tire blowouts happen very frequently with motorhomes and trailers. And they can be very dangerous. Not only dangerous as far as if you might flip the RV or anything like that, but they can just be really destructive and therefore expensive. It's not just the tire, it's blowing off the whole wheel well around the tire, messing up your slide or the undercarriage of your trailer. It can be really, really damaging and expensive. So we pulled over right away, and they pulled over with us, which was really nice. A lovely couple from Canada, and I guess they had been stopping and looking at our decals and stuff, and then they noticed the tire and got us to pull over. So we're eternally grateful, because when they stopped and looked, there wasn't anything immediately wrong looking with the tire. It wasn't obvious. It hadn't blown. It wasn't flat. So Brian had to get under and crawl underneath and look, and we had a massive bubble on our tire. We have a whole video about it on our other channel if you're interested, but I will put a picture right here so you can see what I'm talking about. And it was just huge. I've never even seen a bubble in a tire. I guess other people have, but most people have said they've never seen one that big. And we were probably minutes or seconds away from that thing blowing. And I have had people with experience in this leave us comments saying that bubbles that big can like take off limbs, so we really shouldn't have been like touching it. I had no idea. Or that if it had blown, one guy said he had a bubble like that in his tire that blew, and it blew a hole in the floor of his motorhome, like all the way to the inside. So we really avoided a major, major disaster because those people were kind enough to stop us. Observant enough to see it in the first place. Wow. I mean, it's really crazy. And my first reaction was like, seriously, the luck. Like, we got our our RV back the day before. And finally, and then now we have this happen. And I was just like, seriously, are we ever going to get a break? But then Brian put it into really good perspective for me when he said, well, we did get a major break, because this would have been terrible if it wasn't caught. and that would have been the far worse version of the story. So really turned it around for me, and I'm like, you're right, that's very good luck. Someone was watching out for us. I don't know, it was just crazy. So we stopped at a truck stop that was just about 18 miles from here, and Brian changed the tire himself on the 15,000-pound trailer. I don't know how men do the things that they do sometimes. And we finally pulled into the park where we are staying at now. And since then, we have finally been relaxing. Like, things are getting really good. This park is absolutely beautiful. It's very green, tons of trees, very nicely kept. The last one wasn't as much so, and this one's just very nicely kept. It's been peaceful here, despite the fact there are quite a lot of people here. And there's been a lot of fun activities around the area. We've been here, I want to say, a week and a half now, I believe, because today is Thursday. So, well, we've been here a week and 2 days. And I feel like it's just been really nice the entire time. We've done quite a few really fun activities around here. And we've also met quite a few people. So these decals that we got on the back of the trailer, we mostly got them to help promote our social media. So we're driving down the highway and stuff. People will see it and think, what's that? And look us up, and more people find out about this lifestyle of full-time RVing as a young person, or might ask us, how could I do that? Or even just find us and follow us and stuff. So that was our main goal. It never occurred to us that it could avert a disaster like it did with the tire bubble, or that it would also become a tool for meeting more people in person. I knew it would be good for social media. I didn't know it would be good for our actual social life. But as soon as we pulled into this park, and we're not in exactly like a super prominent location or anything where the back is sticking out to the walkway or whatever, but this one's like a loop and the walkway goes all the way around, so we do stick out towards that side. And as soon as we pulled into this park, we started getting messages from people that see the decals, look us up, and message us and want to meet us. So yes, you're in an RV park and you're going to meet people anyway, but people do tend to keep to themselves a little bit more. You wave and you're friendly, and occasionally you strike up a conversation with people, but I think it's easier for most people to initiate something this way, and then to also know that if they come over to say hello, they're not interrupting you or just walking up when you're busy, or walking up and knocking on your door and then your dog's gonna bark like my dog would. So I think it makes it a little bit more comfortable for people. And we have met like 3 more couples here just because of our decals, and we probably wouldn't have met them otherwise. And one couple in particular, their names are Dwayne and Kathleen, have turned out to be pretty darn good friends. We've hung out with them at least 5 times now. I'm losing track since we've been here. So they came over one afternoon to say hello, but they were on their way out, and we talked for maybe 10 minutes. And so I invited them over for coffee the next morning so we could talk more. And the 4 of us sat out in front of the RV and the camping chairs and stuff and had coffee. And they came over at 10:30 in the morning, and all of a sudden it was 2, and we're wondering about having lunch. And I was actually really sad because the really nice Canadian couple that stopped us about the tire, they were going to be coming back through Michigan that day and wanted to stop and say hi again and actually get to know each other a little bit instead of, saying hello on the side of the road. But my phone was on silent while we were visiting with Dwayne and Kathleen, because I'm the type of person that doesn't, want to have my phone interfere with real people. And I missed them calling. And by the time I saw it, they had already gone too far to come back and see us. So I felt and still feel really bad about that. And I hope we get to see them again. sometime in the future, but they're following us now, so they can kind of keep tabs on where we are, and maybe we'll get to see them sometime. And so we decided to go to lunch with them and everything, and by the time we got home, I think it was like 4:30. So first day hanging out with Dwayne and Kathleen, we spent like 6 hours with them, and they were nice enough to pay when they took us to lunch. So Brian decided he really wanted to cook for them. So we had them over another evening, and Brian cooked for them. We had a lovely salmon dinner, and we played Mexican Train, which is, in case you don't know, it's a domino game. And we had a really nice time. It stayed up way too late. We've had another time that they came over for coffee and chatted. I think that was yesterday. And we've had just a couple other times we stopped by their RV for a while and chatted. They've stopped over here and chatted and come in for a few minutes here and there. And yesterday we all went out to dinner, and now Brian wants to cook for them again in a couple days. So we've really been spending some time together, which has been really, really, really nice. And we're just kind of sitting here marveling, like, wow, how can having these decals make it so much easier to make friends? But it does. So that has been really a cool bonus, or I don't know, a side benefit that we didn't expect, and it's really awesome. So, and it's good because as a full-time RVer, you know, you don't get to spend a lot of time with your friends and family. We do Skype and FaceTime and all those ways to keep in touch with people, but it's not the same. And then when you come to the campgrounds, like Brian and I are always very open to meeting people. We love meeting people. But even as social as we are, we're not going to just walk up to people out of nowhere and start a conversation when there's not really anything to start it on. So it's hard to not keep to yourself. Like, we're always friendly if someone comes up to us, and if we run into anybody and we can start a conversation, we do. But it's, you know, it's a little bit more solitary sometimes. Like, we spend all of our time together, and it's hard to break out of our little box sometimes. So the fact that this apparently is having this side effect of meeting more people, that's really cool for us. I really, really like that. I'm kind of I know nobody will believe me because I'm doing YouTube, but I'm more of an introvert a little bit. I love being around people. I'm not one of those people, you know, they say like the definition of introvert and extrovert is where you get your energy from. Do you get your energy from being alone, or do you get your energy from being around people? In that regard, I'm an extrovert. My energy comes from being around people, even if it's not necessarily socializing or being with those people. I like to be around people. So if I were going to work all day at home by myself on the computer, for example, I don't like that. If it's a couple hours, that's okay. But I would rather, if it's going to be a long time, I'd rather go sit at a Starbucks and work, just so that there's people around me. That's just the way I like things. But at the same time, sometimes I just don't want to be around a bunch of people, and I just have to get away from like a crowded place or whatever. So it's kind of a weird paradox for me. I don't really fit into a perfect category. But I've always been more of an introvert in the fact that I've been a little bit shy and it's hard for me to just start a conversation. That's definitely improving now, as both between getting older and the fact that I've been with Brian for a few years. He's a lot more social and can start a conversation with anybody, so I'm getting better at it even when I am by myself. And when we're together, he initiates conversation. People take such a liking to him because he's so sociable that it makes it really easy for me to be that way too and be real congenial and get to know people. So I think that this whole thing, all the social media, the fact that we're doing all this public stuff, it's really been good for me. I'm learning to be more social and not be kind of a wallflower and stuff. And it's like sometimes I'm super, super social, and sometimes I can't think of anything to say or don't want to be somewhere. So I'm working on it. But Brian definitely helps me come out of my shell. And I'm enjoying it so much. I'm enjoying meeting people and making friends. So this is only the first place. We didn't have any experiences like this at the last place, but really our RV wasn't with us most of the time. We did have one person get in touch with us just from the decals on the truck, but they were getting ready to leave right then, so we didn't end up meeting them. But it's just been kind of cool. And I guess that's made me happy. It's kind of re-energized me a little bit to focus on something else, and we're spending some time with people. And besides that, we have been having a blast. We still have not celebrated my birthday yet. I'm hoping it will be soon. Oh, but do you guys want to see what I got for my birthday? I'll be right back. I might have mentioned this last time, but I know I did not show it. But my husband got me a new center diamond for my wedding ring. So I think I remember talking about it last time. I love my ring, but the center stone is a pretty cheap stone, very cloudy, and it doesn't sparkle like the other ones do. And he got me this beautiful new diamond. I have no idea how well you will or will not be able to see it on video, but I'm going to show you. Ooh. Ah. And it's going to go right there in the center. So I'm really excited about that. It's a beautiful, beautiful diamond. It's way sparkly. And I'm just waiting to get it, I want to say installed, but that's really not the right word, but I guess set into my ring. I really don't want to wait all the way until we get back to Colorado to use our jeweler. So we're looking at maybe doing it when we get to Washington State, which is going to be in about 3 weeks, I think. Might be 2.5, something like that. 3 weeks. We get there on the 19th of June, I believe. So I think we're going to do it out there because here where we are, we're only going to be here another, well, I'm only going to be here another week. Yes, I leave next Thursday for a little trip to Florida with a good friend of mine who lives out there. Her name is Amber, and she wants me to go with her to St. Augustine, Florida, which is supposed to be a really nice little town out there. And I'm thinking, why not? It's a great girls trip kind of thing to do. We're renting a house off of VRBO that's a cute little purple cottage, and we should be able to walk everywhere in the town. So I'm really excited about that. But because of the way the timing of the trip fell, I'm leaving this park sooner than planned. I'm leaving 3 days sooner than we were planning to leave. And then Brian will still be here, of course. But unfortunately, he'll be packing up and moving the RV without me on the 5th of June. So I'll be leaving from Michigan, but I'll be coming back to Illinois when I get back from Florida. But anywho, it's only a week away now, and I just didn't want to try to find a jeweler and make all that happen that fast. So I think Washington will be good because we know that we're going to be there for 3 solid weeks, and we can just find somebody right when we get there and get that done. So pretty excited about that. Pretty awesome birthday gift. And I think he's still got some little stuff he's planning to give me, but he wanted to wait till we actually celebrate my birthday, which we haven't yet. We were thinking about doing it today, but my hubby has a wonderful idea of how to celebrate. I never know what to do for a birthday as an adult. It's like you don't want to just go out to dinner and a movie or something because that's just kind of like a regular date night or something that you can do anytime. I mean, maybe when we have kids it won't it'll be a little bit different. But, you know, you want to do something that's special enough to feel like a birthday. And not only is it hard to think of ideas, but then, I mean, this is going to sound like a complaint, but it's really not. But it's like, we're doing fun stuff here every other day right now. It all feels really fun. So it's like, do you just take one of those things and make it a birthday day, or do you still think of something else to do? Because I was perfectly happy just saying, okay, well, let's go pick this day, and that'll be when we celebrate my birthday. But he wanted to do something that was like a little bit different and more special. So yesterday, and well, let me go through first a couple of the things we've done here. We went to, I think it was a couple days after we got here, we went to, well, first we went to a little cave tour that's right here in our park, and we did a couple little things around the area. We went to a festival in St. Joseph that was called Barbecue Blues and Bluegrass. That was really fun. We heard about it on the radio and decided to go. So we did that. It's like the first couple of days we were here, we were kind of relaxing and decompressing after everything we had been through. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we didn't do too much. And then we went to this festival on Saturday, and it was a blast. And then we did the cave tour. And the festival was on the beach and everything. It was beautiful. We got to watch the sunset. That video is up on my channel if you want to see it. And we went to a cave tour here, which was just a tiny little thing, but it was still fun. And we went to, this was also here in our RV park, but we went yesterday and rented a canoe and spent a couple hours canoeing down the river, the St. Joseph River, which apparently, someone told me last night, it's one of only 2 rivers in the world that flow north. I don't know if that's true, but that's what someone told me. But we went and canoed on the river and had such a good time. I love boats. I love being on the water. I have no balance, so getting in the boat and out of the boat is tricky with a canoe. But once I'm in it, I have a really good time. And I had so much fun that he decided that we got to do something on a boat for my birthday. And since we'd just been in St. Joseph on the beach and it was so pretty, what he would like to do is see if he can charter a boat for a little sunset boat ride to celebrate my birthday. So we were going to do it today, but he just thought of this yesterday. So for one, he wasn't sure if he could get something same day. But also we woke up and it's cloudy today. And it's supposed to be raining on and off and kind of storming all day and night today. So we're swapping, and we're going to do something else today and try to plan for next Tuesday to go do this. It also gives him a little more time to charter something. So I think that would be really fun, really romantic. If it doesn't work out, we'll figure out something else. But if so, we could make a day of it, because St. Joseph was really nice, and so was the beach. We could spend some time in the town, walk around, shop, whatever, go to lunch or dinner there. And then go on this boat ride. So I think that would be really cool. A really nice way to celebrate. And looking forward to it whenever it happens. So today, instead, we're going to go to the RV Hall of Fame. I think it's the RV Hall of Fame, or it might be the Motorhome Hall of Fame, but I think it's the RV Hall of Fame, which is in Indiana, and it's only about 45 minutes from where we are. I found out about it from a friend of mine who happened to be driving by it, and she's a friend of mine from Colorado, but she happened to be out here for some reason, and sent me a picture and said, saw this and thought of you, it's in Elkhart, Indiana. So that's where we're going today, since we swapped our plans. I'm pretty excited about that, since we're so into RVing, and our YouTube channel is all about RVing. It should be really fun to see, and a really fun thing to make a video about. So really looking forward to that. And I don't know, just we're having a great time. It's like we'll do something fun, and then we'll kind of take a day, or we'll do something fun, we'll take a day to either just be alone and catch up on things, or to hang out with these new friends of ours. Whoops, lost my threading. Because we still have to balance like time to do regular stuff, do laundry, pay bills, you know. I don't have to do too much with my business because my lovely mother-in-law runs most of the day-to-day stuff for me, but there is still some stuff that I'm involved in and have to do, and stuff with the bank, and, you know, mail, all kinds of stuff like that. So we still have a real life. It's not just a vacation, and we are lucky enough that we get to do so many fun things as part of our real life, and that's exactly why we're doing this, because this isn't a vacation for us, this is our lifestyle. And we've been really working on our budget this month. I don't know if I told you last time that we're cash budgeting, and so this has been an interesting experience because traveling and trying to do these things is a little bit different than when we were at home in Colorado for a while recently. So I'm trying to balance everything, and this was our first month on the cash budget, so we're really trying to evaluate and see where did we need more, where did we need less, how can we reallocate, because we can't just add more, obviously, but we need to reallocate and take from some categories and put into some others for next month and keep trying to improve at this. So I thought we were going to struggle with our eating out budget because we really like to eat out a lot. And in the past, when we weren't paying attention, we could really spend way too much on that. But actually, that's been pretty good because since we're also working on our health, we're really trying to eat at home most of the time. So the eating out budget has actually not been a big deal. What has been a really big deal was the grocery budget because we are eating at home so much. And even with coupons and stuff, because people will tell you, how can you spend that much? I feed my family of 4 for less than that. Or they'll say, you know, I'm a couponer and I don't spend blah, blah. But I will tell you something. Most people who are feeding their kids cheaply, or even themselves cheaply, or who are using coupons, are not buying the kind of food that we're buying. You know, it's cereal or junky snacks, you know, cheap meats, things like that. And we are buying really good quality organic meats, good quality organic fruits and vegetables, good quality grains. We don't buy white rice because that's not what we want to put in our bodies. We buy quinoa, or we buy some other healthy grain, or we buy a lot of vegetables because we're trying to not do as many grains. So it's an expensive way, and we do the best we can, you know, buying store brands, buying from the cheaper stores, using the coupons that we can find, you know, trying to make sure that we use all of the food that we do buy, all that kind of stuff. But it's still, you know, more money than we thought it was going to be. But we've talked about it and said, you know, we're not buying really extras like snacky stuff or desserts or extra things that would be easy to cut out from our grocery budget, so we don't feel like we really need to adjust our grocery budget. We're both feeling like that's a good thing and it's good for us, and let's just make other adjustments as necessary to our budget to accommodate it. This is getting to be a pain, so I think I'm gonna tie this one off here. So we got to look at where else we want to make adjustments. And then we also didn't have quite enough money for activities. The Barbecue Blues Festival was a little pricey because it had an entrance fee. First of all, $20 per person. And then one of the things I didn't like is that for beverages, you had to buy tickets, and it's because most of them were alcohol, but I wasn't drinking alcohol. Brian had a couple beers, but they make you buy tickets for the alcohol. And the thing I don't like about that is you have to buy either 10 tickets or 20 tickets or whatever. You can't buy less tickets than a certain number. And then if you don't use them all, you've kind of wasted money. And then the food, you actually paid for it in cash and stuff, but they don't let you bring in any outside food and drink. And so, then it was $10 for parking too. So driving there, parking, entrance fee, beverages, food, it ended up being a little bit pricey. I think it was like $80 or something altogether. So it really added up. Most of our other activities are really inexpensive. The cave tour we went on was $3 a person. Renting the canoe for 2 hours was $20. But we had only budgeted $100 for activities for the month, which is not a lot. So we have to adjust that. I think we're going to need double that next month. We did better on fuel costs than we were expecting. And usually this little trick works for me, but it's not working this time. We have a couple $100 left off of fuel costs, but I don't think we can adjust it next month because we're now driving all the way to Washington State next month, which we were not planning to do. We were planning to, after leaving Illinois, just stay around like Indiana or something and then go out to Montana, not until July. But there's a Thousand Trails Park on the east side of Washington State that is actually only 3 hours from where the kids live in Montana. So we decided to just go all the way over there so that we have the big part of our driving done before picking up the kids. Because when we do pick up the kids, we'll be staying in Montana for a week before we pick them up. But then once we pick them up, we drive all the way back over to Michigan. So Brian didn't want to have to do that big drive like almost back to back with just a week in between, like driving 4 days, being there a week, and then driving 4 days. So this makes a lot more sense. We'll do the big drive in June all the way to Washington, and then it's going to be a whole month later by the time we do the next really big drive back out to Michigan. So that's going to work out really nicely, but we're driving a lot farther than planned. So we kind of want to save the budgeted money for that, or the extra money from the gas budget this month for that. But I overestimated. I had no idea how to do a gas budget when you're towing a trailer and you're going all over the country. Was like, I do not know. So I asked Brian, typically what does he get per mile or miles per gallon, sorry, when he's towing. And then we looked at all the places we were driving and where they fell, like for each month, and tried to come up with how many miles we would be towing each month. And then I just looked up what the national average is on the diesel price, and I used that in my calculations. And we've been lucky so far that we've been buying it at below average price. So that's been good. But I had no idea how to guess about all of our other driving when we're not towing, like just driving to the different things that we do. It's like here in where we've been staying here in Michigan, we've been driving to Indiana like every day almost. And it's not that far. It's maybe half an hour, 45 minutes that we're driving each way. But, we to go to Walmart, go to the grocery store, go to Costco, whatever. And it's far. So, we're still spending, but I guess we're doing pretty well. And we haven't filled up. We have the 90-gallon reserve tank on our truck, so altogether we can carry 126 gallons of fuel. And so we haven't filled up in a really long time. I don't know since when, but it's been a while. We're on our last tank full before we will have to fill again. Basically, when we fill our truck's tank and then the reserve tank, and the reserve tank can fill up our truck tank 3 more times. So we get 4 tanks every time we fill up, which is great. And we always use an app to find the cheapest diesel near us, and that works really well for us too. So it's been really good, coming out really good on that. But basically, when the 31st of the month comes up, we're going to be sitting down and looking at what we spent in each category, whether it was like our fault and can we change it, or stuff like with the grocery where we decide no, we want to allocate for that, and then make changes and decide how to reallocate things for next month. So I'm really pleased with how it's going and looking forward to seeing if we can do even better next month. We've done cash budgeting before. We did it for about 6 months and we did really well with it, but when my dad passed away, everything just kind of went out the window. So it's been a while since we've kind of been on top of things, and we're really getting back on top of things in our life again, which feels really good. It really does. And I've been thinking about my parents a lot, especially when my birthday passed. It was my first birthday with no parents, and I'm sorry, but when people tell me to just like keep my chin up or cheer up about it, I'm like, I am not sitting here talking about, oh, it's a cloudy day, or, it'd be one thing if I was acting like that about the fact we haven't celebrated my birthday yet and it was almost 3 weeks ago. I really don't care that much about that. I'm fine with that. But I'm talking about being an orphan at 33 years old and celebrating my first birthday without both my parents. I come from a very close family. My parents and I spent a lot of time together. I got lots of gifts from them on Christmas and birthdays. You know, gift giving was like one of their love languages. It was one of the things that they always loved to do. And it's like all the things that I don't buy for myself all year long that I think I really want that, but I shouldn't spend the money. I'd usually get them on my birthday and Christmas. And it's not about the gifts or that I miss the things. It's about the love that I felt from that and like how they made me feel. I don't know. My parents were just wonderful people. And, you know, my mom's been gone almost 5 years now, so I'm getting used to that. I certainly don't like it, but I'm getting used to it. And my dad, surprisingly, really took over with the gift giving, which was never his thing. And so I just was really happy about that and how I felt about it. I'm lucky I have so many things he's given me that I'll remember. This is from my dad. A lot of my craft stuff actually, and I will be making a video for you guys about my craft stuff and how I organize it in the RV. I'm hoping to do that sometime this weekend because we're staying home a lot with the holiday weekend and not getting out with the crowds. So I'm thinking I will be able to do it sometime over the weekend and show you, and I can kind of point out some of the awesome things that are from my dad. He always would give me the best stuff for my craft stash. So, but just having the first birthday without them put me in a funk. It was a bummer. It was sad. It makes me miss them more, and it's coming up on a really hard time for me this time of year. So first, my birthday, that kicks it off, May 7th. May 29th, coming up soon, that's my mom's birthday. June, we're going to have Father's Day. I don't know the exact date, but it'll be my first Father's Day without having my dad here to do something nice for. So I'm really glad that I gave him a really nice card last year. It made him cry. And I don't remember even what else I gave him now, but I know he was happy with it. Oh, I gave him a Keurig for Father's Day last year. And he really liked that. So, anyway, after Father's Day, it's going to be about a week later-ish. June 24th, that's the date that our son was born and passed away. And this will be 2 years ago. And then July 4th is the day my dad passed away, and that's going to be 1 year. August 30th, 5-year anniversary since my mom passed away. And then just by the time I get through all that, then the holidays are right around the corner, you know? And Christmas is by far the worst one for me. Christmas is like always been so magical to me, and I got that from my mom. And I just absolutely love Christmas, but I feel like without them, it's just not the same. I got through this past Christmas fine. I still enjoyed it. We decorated. You know, everything was okay, but it was hard. But I got through it, and neither of them was there. So this year should be easier, but it's never going to be easy for me. I am really looking forward to when Brian and I have kids because I think getting to give my kids a magical Christmas and get to start seeing them love Christmas is going to bring it back for me. I think that I can get that feeling back. And I kind of feel that way about a lot of things when it comes to having a family, is that I loved my family. I think my family did things right. I enjoyed the experience of growing up with my parents and my family life. And there's other things that Brian and I do differently than my family did. And I think that we're going to create a really nice family. I'm really excited to have a family with him. So I wish that we could spend more time with Brian's kids, but it's not up to us, and it's a very difficult situation. I miss them a lot too. His daughter lived with us for an entire school semester a couple of years ago. It was actually when I was pregnant, and I loved being her mom. I loved being a family with Brian. I just absolutely loved it, but unfortunately it was not meant to last. And I just miss it so much. But I've seen Brian with his kids. I've gotten to be with Brian as a family with his kids. I just know that when we get to have some, we're going to really enjoy being a family. And I feel like that's going to really heal me a lot. Like being able to create a family now that I've lost one. So I'm really looking forward to sort of the healing process that that's going to bring. I think it's going to be really good for me. And for Brian, I mean, he's lost not only the son that we lost together, but a couple of other children. And his two children that are living, you know, he doesn't get to see or talk to nearly as much as he would like. And he just wants to be a dad so much. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him be able to do that. And he's a wonderful dad. We agree on pretty much everything as far as what to do with kids and how to raise them and how we want things to be. So I think it's going to be really, really good. We talk about it all the time as if we have them here, you know, just like that's what I would tell my kids is this, you know, and we always agree. So I'm hoping it really goes that way, but you know, raising a family is no easy feat. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of bumps in the road. I was just telling him this morning that I am so not prepared for whenever our kids become teenagers and they hate me all the time. I'm just not built for that, but I'm sure I'll get through it when the time comes. And I know that they'll eventually like me again when they get older. I did the same thing with my parents. Well, I never hated my parents, but I'm sure I had a lot of attitude, and I was a pretty good kid. But you know, everybody struggles to kind of find their independence and be themselves and stuff. So, but I think I'm gonna get close to wrapping this up. I'm gonna work on this row just a little bit more here, but what else do I want to say? We've just been having a really good time here and loving life right now. Things are going really well. I'm really excited for the rest of the summer. Basically, we're here a little bit longer. I go to that trip in Florida. We're going to be in Illinois for a week after that. Go out to Washington for 3 weeks. We have tons of plans for while we're there. Not necessarily what we're going to do there, which is also going to get planned at some point, but that we're also going to be using that time to get some business stuff done, to hopefully do some projects around the RV, some decoration and household improvement kind of projects. We've got smart tiles we want to put up for backsplashes and painting that we want to do, and I'm really excited to have some time to do some of that. Basically want to get everything all spiffed up before the kids come for the summer. And then we go out to Montana for a week before picking up the kids, and we're going to go to Glacier National Park. We went there once with the kids on their spring break, but it was still winter there, so very little of the park was open, and we didn't get to see or do anything there or even go to the visitor center because it was closed. So we're really excited to actually go see that park. We love going to national parks. And then we pick up the kids in the middle of July and we bring them out to Wisconsin Dells for a few days to go to a big water park there. And then we go to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and we have tons of stuff planned around the Upper Peninsula. And then we're going to come down into the Lower Peninsula of Michigan and spend some time at Sleeping Bear Dunes National Park. And then drive them all the way back to Montana and drop them off. And then after that, we're talking about August 20th by then. Then we'll be heading back to Colorado and settling in Colorado Springs, where we will be while we finish the surrogacy stuff. And that's the other thing we're going to be doing over these next few weeks is working with that agency to pick a surrogate. With everything that was going on, we just haven't yet. But we're gonna start calling and getting in touch with them after the Memorial Day weekend, and then hopefully we'll have a lot of time in Washington to get everything hammered out. And I'm just really looking forward to picking somebody and knowing that the process is going forward, and it's gonna be big. And then I know by the time we get back to Colorado, we're gonna be happy to be back there and be out of humidity. The humidity out here is insane. And the fall is a beautiful time to be in Colorado. We have never spent much time in Colorado Springs. That's a different area than where we're from, which we're from the Denver area. So we're actually kind of excited about that too. Hike new places, explore new places, spend some time at Garden of the Gods, which we've only like done day visits to. We haven't spent a lot of time there. And then once we get into the process a little more, if we know we don't have to be around for a month, we can leave and travel and then come back. So we might do some stuff around Arizona and Utah in the fall and winter time as well. So after that, I don't know what's coming our way, but I feel like we have a lot of awesome things planned this year, and really excited. Really enjoying our lifestyle. We'll be coming up soon. July 15th will be our 1-year anniversary of living full-time in our RV. So that's pretty cool. It's not this RV. We started out in a different RV, but it's still pretty cool. Time's flying, and we're getting things done and enjoying life, meeting people along the way, having a really good time. So let me stop here and show you my progress. I'm gonna put this on the back so we can see well. So I've just been working on a nice straight part down here at the bottom. There's 3 rows, so I'm almost done with the 3rd row. I wanted to do something that I wouldn't get too confused by. So thank you guys so much for watching and for stitching along with me today. I'm not sure how long this video has been, so I apologize if it's too short or too long. I haven't gotten to check the time on it yet, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be back soon. I am planning to make that video over this weekend showing off all my craft stuff and how it's organized. And I'm also hoping this weekend I'm going to start trying to tackle this whole pattern designing issue. So if I get anywhere with that, I might make a little video about that too, and then it'll probably be, well, I guess I can't promise if I'll be back with another stitching video before I go to Florida next Thursday. I'll try, but I can't promise because we're moving my birthday celebration to either Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember which off the top of my head, and then I leave Thursday. So we shall see, but I'll try to get those other videos in this weekend so that I won't just be disappearing off the face of the earth for you guys. And I'll try to come back with a new video as soon as I can. So thanks for sticking around. Sorry it's not a super regular posting schedule. I know a bunch of you guys have left comments like asking if I'm still doing this or when I'm coming back, so I'm really sorry. Our life is not very routine, if you haven't noticed, so it's hard for me to just say, oh, I'm going to be able to do this every week on this day. This takes a lot longer than my other videos do. It's like sitting down, having a good quiet hour to myself, and then it takes me almost that long to go through it and edit it and get it uploaded. So it's just a harder thing for me to fit in, but I do love doing it, and I am not planning to quit. So just hang in there if you don't see me, and I will be back. I love the comments you guys leave. I want you to know it's so refreshing to get such nice comments on this channel because I deal with a lot of negative ones other places. Thank you for being so nice and so supportive, so welcoming and kind to me. I absolutely love you, ladies. And thank you for stitching along with me. And I promise I will be back, so hang in there. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.